Well, aloha kakahiaka, everyone, and good. That means good morning in Hawaiian. I'm Peter, and you are here on the Aloha Friday Hawaii show. And it is July 19th. And if you're not listening to us live, you can click ahead to the chapters on YouTube. But anyway, I am glad that you're here, and we have got a really, really cool show planned for you today. As usual, we're going to start with some Hawaii news. Got some funny stories, and actually some wildfires are going on in Hawaii that you may not have heard of if you've been following. But and we got some market updates. We're going to see how the individual markets are going. This is, of course, the Aloha Friday Hawaii real estate show. Got some questions that we're going to be taking from our audience. That's you. And we're going to be following up with some diamonds and deals, some properties that we think are interesting that you should have a look at. And then finally, we're going to close with some motivational thoughts. But what we got to do right now is we have to warm up the microphones. We got to warm up the internets and have people getting in. And the way we're going to warm up is by talking with our friends, a little bit of informal talk story that we're going to have. We have Ashley Wasan, who is with us from Oahu. We have Heidi Dellinger, who is with us from Maui. And we have Misty Padilla. Is it Padilla? Padilla. Misty Padilla. Or I wonder. So Misty is here in Dylan's replacement. So Misty, is it Padilla or Padilla? What's the correct, or whatever it is, what's the correct pronunciation? And make sure you unmute yourself.
So we say Padilla, however, it is also pronounced as Padilla, but yes, Padilla is what it is to us. Thank you.
Misty Padilla. All right. Thank you. Well, I'm glad, it's always good to ask how people want to pronounce their name. So Misty, I tell you what, we're going to save you the trial by the baptism by fire here. We're going to have Ashley go first. We're just warming up. All we're doing is just a few minutes of talk story just to warm up the microphones, to get everybody to kind of show the streams. Actually, I have to fire up the Instagram feed too. Got that going. So Ashley, how's your side of the island? Have you been getting rain, weather, kids, backyard activities? What's going on?
I have no additional kids, Peter. Knock on wood. Misty, I'm not a super mom like Misty. One is all I can handle. Summer is I think 2 more weeks left for our keiki before they go back to school here in Hawaii. I know that the mainland doesn't go back until like mid or late August. So we're just going to enjoy these last couple of weeks while we can. The weather has been hot, like really, really hot. But of course, I have another house. I live in Kailua on the east side. And so it's been like the absolute most perfect summer weather. And the pool is warm. It's the only time of the year I use it. But then in Wahiwa, I have another house as well. It's being rented. And of course, somehow right now in the middle of summer, it's raining there. So the weather on Oahu, per usual, is pretty wild, depending on what part of the island you're on.
There you go. Well, you got one child and you in the pool. That sounds like a fun way to spend the summer. I was going to ask you about this. So the kids are going back to school in a couple of weeks. Is that it?
Yeah. So August 4th, they go back to school, and their summer program. So in Hawaii, we have a summer fun program. I'm not sure if every state has one. And you have to literally be on the computer the moment it launches, already logged in and refreshing by 5 p.m. when they post the after school program if you're doing the state one. And then it's like $75 for the entire summer. And it is the best summer program if you have kids and you're looking for summer programs for them in the future. Summer fun. It's on the Parks and Recreation website. You have to get an account, log in, get your kids login and names already inputted, and be ready to go. And it is amazing. They do cultural events. They canoe, they do old-fashioned sailing, they do zoo days, they go to botanical gardens, they go to Kualoa Ranch, all kinds of fun things all summer long. And then it's back.
Sounds like fun. Sounds like fun. So it actually reminds me of my old days summer fun programs. Of course, we used to enroll our kids back then. So good to see that. So kind of thanks for bringing back some fun memories. Heidi, what's Heidi is famous for? Heidi's thing is the coffee of the day on Maui. Heidi, how's Maui? How are you? How's the coffee?
Maui's great. It's just been sunny and warm and gorgeous here. So, just enjoying. Today is actually my birthday, and my husband went.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
I think it's Dylan's birthday as well today.
I was going to say it's Dylan's birthday too. Of all things, it is Dylan's birthday. Yes.
Yeah, it's just a great day.
It is a great day. Well, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Make the most of your special day today. Birthdays are always fun. A good time to reflect back on the past. I think a lot of favorite things there. I want to say hi really quick to Val, who has joined us. Val, good morning. Good morning, Val. Glad you're here with the shaka. By the way, everybody, so notice how there's a little shaka icon, and of course you've all seen the shaka emoji, that you've got on your phone, etc. But I did not realize this about the shaka emoji. It's actually not a shaka emoji. It's actually call me on the phone. It actually means call. Yes, it means actually call me on the phone, but we use it as shaka, right? Because the minute we saw it, I was like, wow, that's cool. They have shaka as the emoji. Well, not really. It's call me on the phone, but hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. Thanks, Val. Thanks, Val. And Val says, happy birthday, Heidi. Excellent. Thank you. That's very kind. Yeah, very, very kind of you. Hey, folks, if you're with us, we'd love to know that you're here. Give us a shout out, pop it in the comments, either Facebook or YouTube, and also Instagram as well. Pop it in the comments. Let us know where you're from. It's always kind of fun to see where people are from. All right. So Misty is Dylan's replacement from the Big Island. Misty, how are you? And what, maybe just give us like a 30, you're super mom. So give us a little bit about yourself. What would you like everyone to know about you? There we go. What would you like everyone to know about you, Misty?
Thank you so much, Peter. Aloha, everyone. Happy Aloha Friday. And yes, happy birthday to Heidi and happy birthday to Dylan as well. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm so honored. As you already know, yes, in a nutshell, I am married and I'm a mommy of 10. We have a big blended family. I was fortunate enough to birth 6 of them and counting every day all joy. It's never a dull moment. It's always a beautiful day here in Hawaii, and I cannot wait till Scoot starts.
Man, talk about a trophy. My goodness. God bless you. God bless you. Holy moly. Yeah. Actually, you were right. 10 children. That is
that's just the tip of her story iceberg. It gets so much. She's so much more than that. But how come you're wearing a lei, Misty? Is it your birthday too?
Yes.
You know what? It's totally not my birthday, but I am so blessed. My mom has a beautiful puakeni tree, and I'm actually dancing hula for her tonight. So that's another piece of my life is I'm a professional hula dancer as well. And mom gives me leis whenever the tree is very fruitful. And then my auntie also has pakalana in her yard. That's from my grandma's vines that's been growing for decades. So whatever I can get, I take it. And I'm just so grateful to have it. So it's just Aloha Friday.
And that is awesome. That is awesome. That is thank you. Thank you, Misty, for bringing us a native cultural experience on the show. I mean, we all, the rest, the 3 of us are transplants. We, of course we've embraced it completely. We're all a part of it, but you just can't, there's a difference between, coming here and embracing it and being born and raised here and being, deeply ingrained. So thank you for bringing that. It's a great part of the cultural experience. Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Yeah, it's awesome. Hey, we got a bunch of people who are saying hello. I want to say hello to them too. Steve is back. Hey, welcome back, Steve. Steve Boyer, happy birthday to Heidi and Dylan. Thanks, Steve. I'm sure Dylan's going to be happy to see that when he plays back this thing later. And NYC is with us. Hello from NYC. Supposed to fly to Kona tomorrow, but IT meltdown putting things at risk. Yeah, the whole world has been shut down by the. It's interesting. This is a technical term that programmers. So I'm in the tech industry. This is a technical term that we've used for decades since Microsoft first started. It's called the blue screen of death. That's what it's called. The blue screen of death is that blue screen that says, hey, there's a problem and I don't know what the hell's going on. And that's what's going on. It's crazy, crazy, crazy story. And Dwayne is with us. Dwayne Carwile. How's it, guys? How's it, Dwayne? Good to see you. Thank you for being with us. All right. I think the mics are hot. If anything, the mics, we have warmed up the mics. Thank you, ladies, for helping warm out the mics. All right, let's do this. I'm going to pop into some news, and then we'll go to our next piece here, and let's fly into the news. Okay, so I got a couple of fun things to kind of share over with you. I mentioned there's been actually a bunch of wildfires. Thankfully, with not anywhere they've been safe wildfires, I think, so far. But I want to hear I'd be curious to hear what Heidi has to say about this. So there's a Maui Crater Road, the road that goes to and from Haleakala Crater. Apparently, was this week was burning for several days, but it was under control. People apparently were evacuated safely, and I think it's been pretty well under control. Kauai also had a wildfire as well, and so that was another element that was kind of quite interesting. West Kauai, 200 residents were evacuated as it was going on. One structure has been destroyed, 1,000 acres have burned. So we're having a dry summer, which has been interesting. A drier so far. The reports I've seen is Kauai has had a below average rainfall, which is Kauai is a pretty wet place, so it's kind of interesting. And then East Hawaii on the Big Island has below average rainfall. So East Hawaii is the windward side of the island. Actually, I'd be curious if you've noticed any kind of change in the rainfall. I have noticed that our grass is starting to turn brown. In fact, just this morning, I told my wife, we better start to turn this sprinkler on. So interesting. All right. Next up is sharks. Sharks near Waikiki. There was a beachgoers. There's a video. Somebody took a video of a bunch of sharks circling around a famous surf spot called Kaiser's, which is right off of Waikiki. And you don't really see sharks too often, certainly not in Waikiki. So that's kind of a rare occurrence, a big thing. TSA lines, hopefully, once the blue screen of death gets resolved and everyone's stuck in the airport, where there's some good stories about the TSA lines may be moving faster. There's new technology that's being deployed, 3D X-ray imaging, which will make things move faster. They're also changing the thing when you go to check in when you go to that first TSA agent, you used to have to bring your boarding pass and your ID. Now you just need to bring your ID. Now this is not universal. It's going to vary by station, but the point is that hopefully that's going to be resulting some shorter lines. We were on Kauai a little while ago, and man, the line, I literally was in line for almost an hour in the TSA line. So that was kind of crazy. But hey, even the line in Kauai may be shortening because they're hiring TSA officers with a much higher pay. So if you're looking for a job and you're on Kauai, you may want to go check that out. They're hiring at a higher rate, so with raises. So check that out. The median home price. Sorry, gang, I don't have what the median home price is, but I do know the story. The headline of the story is that the median home price on Kauai is the highest of the 4 major islands for in the first half of the year. I don't know if any of you, Ashley or Heidi or Misty, have anything handy to share about that. You don't have to, of course, because it's Kauai. And then finally, this is my favorite story. I'm going to close with this. This is the opossum alert. So this is one of these fabulous, only in Hawaii stories. So there was an opossum captured in downtown Honolulu. Where else would the capturing of an opossum be headline news but in Hawaii? Because of course we don't have opossums. So opossums is like, who brought this thing in? But only in Hawaii do we have an opossum alert. And so I thought that was kind of interesting.
Is an opossum a possum? Have I been saying possum wrong?
It's spelled opossum. So that's how it's spelled. It's spelled with an O. So
does everyone call it an opossum or just possum?
I call it a possum.
Like a possum or opossum?
No, don't pronounce the O.
What?
Is the O long or is the O short? Oh, the revelation. Actually, the revelation that that moment you find out that your whole life you've been mispronouncing opossum. That's perfectly okay. That's like that's almost that makes me think of like there was a map, actually, now that you mentioned it, there was a map I saw, the map of the US, that talked about how people pronounce the word soda. So in some parts of the country it's soda. Heidi, as you know, in our part of the country it's called pop. The Midwest, it's called pop, when a can of pop. I did not know that in the southeastern part of the US it's not pronounced soda or pop, but rather Coke. It's a Coke. Give me a Coke. They don't even use the word soda or pop, which is interesting. So soda, pop, possum, opossum, tomato, let's call the whole thing off. So there you go. All right. Hey, why don't we get some, let's get some market updates. I want to say first, I'm going to say hi to Bob Carls, who's back with us. Bob, welcome back. Ha'olelaha now to Heidi, Dylan, and Aloha from Hawaii Kai Peninsula. Thank you, Bob. Glad that you have joined us. And you know what? It's not just, it must be a East Coast thing. Steve, are you from the East Coast? Maybe East Coasters say it possum. It could be an East Coast thing, right? Because actually you were born in the East Coast. Maybe it could be an East Coast, one of those,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, at least in the Northeast, we pronounce a lot of words incorrectly. We have possums. Possum. I've never heard it.
There you
Oh,
go.
possum.
There you go.
I need
There you
more
go.
people, if you're listening to this, to put it in the chat if I'm crazy. I don't feel like this is a blonde moment. I feel I'm really
it's a possum. It's a northeaster thing called
But I
possum.
mean,
So,
what are they
Steve,
doing in downtown Honolulu?
you know what in the hell
Luggage.
is a possum? Yeah, we're gonna call it a possum just to honor Ashley. What is a possum doing in downtown Honolulu?
That sounded so normal when you just said it. Like that sounded right. When I thought you were saying it wrong, genuinely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it must be because Steve says born and raised in Utah, so I'm not too sure what this is. So possum, opossum. Hey, you know what? Let's move on. Let's get some market updates over here. We're having a lot of fun. Great. I'm so glad that Misty's here with us. So Misty, why don't you get started? So let's go Misty, Heidi, and then Ashley, give us a market update. Misty, give us a sense of, I think give us the headlines of what you see is going on the real estate market overall on the Big Island.
Got it. Thank you. So yes, here in Hawaii Island, of course, we all wish we knew what was happening and we had the magic crystal ball to forecast all the things, but we don't. Right now, the biggest that we are experiencing is in the condos. So right now, 33 is where we're at compared to where we were before. And that's huge. That's huge to be down. In 2023, it was at 80. And now at 2024, it's at 33. So that's big. For the single family homes, 2023, we were at 204, and then now we're at 157. So there's definitely a shift that's taking place as expected with all things. But nonetheless, it's always beautiful to just be here in Hawaii. And we're so grateful, to be able to experience that life here. Looking at, let's see, median price. The median price is at 552 right now. And typically for the condos, days on the market is about 50 days right now. For the single family homes, we are experiencing a median price of 642, and then days on the market is at 63. So lots of variation. Of course, people, speak into saying, oh, it's the interest rates, it's the politics. It could be all things, but nonetheless, we're just embracing every day as it is and just counting it all joy and just being blessed in all that we have here.
That's a wonderful way to say it. So do you have any, so that's a pretty big drop, I guess. That must be, what is your feel? I mean, again, what is your feeling? What is your emotional take? How would you, if someone says, wow, what the heck's going on? What would you say? What's the vibe like? What's the feel like? As far as from your perspective, it's not statistical, it's not mathematical, it's not empirical, it's not based on economic projections. Just Misty's heart. What does your heart say?
You kind of just hit it on point right there. It is all things, price first and foremost. It's huge here in Hawaii, to be able to live here. A lot of our locals are always feeling priced out of paradise. It all boils down to numbers, everyone wants to move here and wants to live here in Hawaii, which is such a beautiful thing. But I do feel that the numbers, the interest rates, cost of living, everything just really adds to that. And people are just kind of uncertain. It feels like we're just treading very lightly, kind of waiting to see what's going to happen next. And that's just really where we are and how I feel. I think everyone's experiencing that, not only here in Hawaii, but everywhere else. It just kind of hits differently here in the islands.
Interesting. So your feel is that basically kind of like there's a lot going on. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to hold on for a moment. I'm going to take a pause and let's see this thing kind of play itself out, etc. That's very interesting.
I do feel that. Yeah. People are pausing. I mean, Ashley and Heidi, feel free to enlighten there, but I just feel like people are just kind of waiting on the fence. You have a nice handful that are just ready to move forward. But there is a bigger handful that's just kind of waiting, sitting on the fence to see what's going to happen next.
Interesting. Let's okay. So thank you. That's I'd be definitely curious to kind of see what how Heidi's report and Ashley's report kind of show that either show that's supported or in a different way. But first comment we have the wisdom of the crowds, which is wonderful. So we got Rachel here. So we're going to have, this is clearly going to be the possum or opossum debate, because Rachel, Hawaii Island Properties by Rachel says opossum and possum are two different species. Opossums are from North America and opossum. Okay, maybe there's two. Possums are from North America and opossums are from Australia. Okay, well, there you go. The mystery is being revealed. And then Bob Carl says, Google results says, in common use, possum is the usual term. In technical or scientific context, opossum is preferred. Okay, so we have a debate. Folks. Is it possum or opossum, scientific or Australian, North America or not? So that's the
that sounds like Romeo and Juliet. Possum, opossum.
Which I was gonna say it's like, or Hamlet, to be or not to be. That is the question. Possum or opossum.
I'm like, oh my god, the show is not going in my favor today.
It's all good. I think it's great. So I don't know about you, but I'm having a great time. So Heidi, what's your take? I mean, what's going on with the Maui market? What do you want to share? And I'd be kind of curious what well, let's hear about how the market is and what you think about it. Heidi.
Yeah, so I mean, Misty gave a great perspective. I just pulled the stats yesterday on Maui. Number of sales so far this month in July seems to be pretty consistent with what has sold in June for houses and for condos, which is, at kind of a little slower pace of sales than we've had in the past. So I pulled some year-to-date numbers comparing year-to-date 2024 compared to year-to-date 2023. We have 4% less condos selling, significant increase in new listings, up 46.7%. Median price of condos year-to-date on Maui 2024 is up 7.1%. And that's an overall statistic. There are pockets of the market where we're seeing some softening. I mean, just depending on what's going on in that part of the market. For single family homes, year to date, we have 5.7% more homes selling so far this year in 2024 compared to last year, and a 19.6% increase in new listings. So the overall stats, show a pretty steady and strong market. We mentioned this last time, and I think the last couple shows, there has been a definite increase in condo inventory on Maui. And, I know there is uncertainty and, it's not the super fast-paced market we were experiencing a couple years ago. But in terms of being a buyer, it's a great opportunity to come here, shop around, have options, be able to go around and look at things. So, depending on your perspective, it could be a great time to shop because there's more options than there were a couple years ago and in the past. So, also of note, rental rates for short-term rentals are down pretty significantly compared to last year. So if you're looking to take a last-minute trip to Maui this summer, in a lot of cases, the rental rates are quite a bit less than they were the last couple years. So that's good news if you're looking to plan a trip.
Okay, so interesting. So we're already kind of seeing a little bit of a difference that Maui's kind of, there's a percentage change here or there. It seems to be tilting more towards a buyer's market, but nothing crazy. No, it's like wild shifts that I'm kind of hearing. Interesting. And I guess this sounds like with the rental factor, the Lahaina fire effect is starting to wear off and kind of seeing itself met in different ways. Seems like it. Interesting. So, Heidi, I was curious. Did you want to comment at all on Was there any kind of a vibe with the Crater Road fire that was going on there? Was there any kind of, I would think that any kind of a high winds or fire situation would bring on sort of, serious PTSD for everybody with what went on last year. What was the vibe with the Crater Road fire?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody on Maui is experiencing some PSTD when it comes to fires. And I know, like, I'm always checking the Maui 24/7 Facebook page to see if there's any fires, like if I'm going anywhere. And yeah, I mean, every time there's a fire, it is a concern. The Crater Road fire is high up the mountain. It's not by any residential areas. And we've been fortunate that it hasn't been super windy, so the helicopters have been able to fly. Their biggest challenge was just cloud cover on the mountain and visibility. And the fire, is deep in the ravines and hides out under trees. So, I mean, they've been fighting it for some time, and it's only 80% contained right now. So, I mean, it's going to take a while to completely extinguish, but there's no threats of evacuation at this time. I mean, unless conditions change. So most people here aren't super worried about it right now. But if it were ever to get really windy again, I personally would be worried, because that's the conditions that we had on August 8th, 2023, that were, so destructive.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned, I think I may have misspoke. The evacuation that was done was on Kauai for the wildfire. There was 200 people that were evacuated in the, sort of in the name of safety, I suppose. I don't have more details on that, but thanks for clarifying that. And yeah, so interesting, just a lot of factors, right? Just really kind of shows you what a tragic confluence of events occurred last year. You had the wind, the area, the specific part near a dense area, high winds, dry situation, just insane. Ashley, give us the update. What's going on Oahu? What's the market like? How is it like? Are you more like Maui, or are you more like the Big Island? What's going on over there?
Oahu is its own animal.
There you go. That's right. Good, correct answer.
Every island is so significantly different. They have their own ordinances, their own laws, their own economy, to be honest. So for Oahu, the first half of July is pretty, I think, on par with the first half of June. Like, there was 310 sales for single family and condos first half July versus June. The first half was 305 sales. But in perspective, like, the total amount of sales in June was around 445 to 455 sales. In June 2023, there were 780 sales. So we have less sales overall right now, but the prices still did increase. And so I think nationally and all islands were experiencing the same thing, because in regards to the condo market. So single family homes had increased in the number of transactions that closed by about 4% compared to last year, but condos decreased a staggering 24.5% compared to last year. And so that, I think, is what's really altering a lot of statistics here. Single family homes increased in value about 6.7%, while condos dropped in value about 5.8%. So we're seeing strong buyers are coming in, especially in the single family market. And the inventory for condos have gone up about 50%, 49 and some change. And that means, that there's going to be obviously an oversaturation of the condo market, and the challenges that will naturally come, to terms with. And I think a lot of that will have to do with what goes on regarding insurances. So once a building is no longer 100% insured, the buyer pool, it goes down significantly. A lot of people are catching wind of this in board meetings, or they're getting notices. They're putting it on the market. They're trying to unload it. And when a buyer is looking to purchase, hopefully it's either disclosed or they find it in the condo docs, and they can't get a lot of loans. There's not a lot of loan products available for those. So I think that is a commonality island-wide and nationwide.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Interesting. So you want to, so Misty, are you, what are some, I'm trying to kind of draw connections where they're possible, because as Ashley is correctly saying, is like the islands are really, really different. Misty, what's the connection that you're seeing from what Ashley said?
Yes, all the things that Ashley outlined is exactly what we also experience here too. Insurance was huge, and that was one item that I did not specify on. And also maintenance fees. With all of that going on, maintenance fees continue to skyrocket. And it becomes harder for those, especially if you bought, back in the day when it was really low, that basically your maintenance fee is like a mortgage now. And hopefully all of their condos are paid off at that time, so they just really focus on the maintenance fees. But then when they start to double in numbers and just continue to increase, it does become hard for everyone who's currently living there. So then they also just want to unload, and like Ashley said, it just that's exactly what's happening here. We're totally experiencing the same thing.
So it seems that there's an increasing amount of uncertainty. Certainly, well, here we just got our insurance, bill renewal, whatever you want to call it. It's like, yeah, it's like a nice, healthy, or I should say unhealthy, 20%, 30% increase in our insurance bill for home insurance. So that could be a real big deal. So I could think that uncertainty. Now, Heidi, there's, okay, so Ashley and Misty are kind of saying, yes, there's a lot of uncertainty on the increases. Especially condo associations. If you're going to go and buy into a condo, you look at the association, you realize that they haven't renewed their insurance in a long time, so it's going to come up for renewal. It's going to be a big increase, a lot of uncertainty. Have you seen any of that having an effect on Maui's condo market? How is it similar, or how is it different in Maui on this topic?
Yeah, I mean, most condominium associations have seen a big increase in insurance this past year and have had to raise their HOA fees to reflect that. So we're definitely seeing that. I mean, nobody likes high HOAs, but the HOA has a responsibility to, like, the board needs to create a budget to cover all the costs of operating the condominium complex or the HOA and provide the services they need, and over time costs go up, like costs of landscaping, insurance, management. So yeah, we've seen all those costs going up, but people still need places to live and people still want to be here. So, once you get over the several hundred dollar difference, not several hundred thousand, everybody just adjusts. I mean, it's just a little bit higher prices. And I think that is being experienced in most other places on the other islands and nationally. I mean, it's not just here. It's what I'm hearing is happening in California, Illinois, other places as well.
Florida, it's probably one of the worst markets. They have insurance companies that are completely leaving the state. And so a lot of these homeowners, they don't have, options. At least in Hawaii, we do have insurance companies haven't completely abandoned the state. And I don't think there's any conversation that that's going to happen, because we're oddly protected a lot from a lot of natural disasters. We do obviously have storm seasons, but not compared to other states like Florida. But to the point of, like, this isn't a scare factor or tactic or like, be careful, don't buy. If you're renting, the homeowner is still going to experience this. The homeowner is going to experience these higher costs. And as a tenant, the homeowner is going to have to raise rents in order to cover these new costs that they have. You're not sheltered from experiencing what's happening here and the housing costs at all. You're just at the mercy of whatever the homeowner decides to do with that. And you get absolutely no tax benefits or write-offs, and you have no control of your timelines. So I'm not stating you shouldn't get into homeownership. It's getting scary. Times are tough. More than ever, you need to educate yourself and take control of your living decisions and your environment. And for Kauai,
I was going to say that's an excellent positive note there. That is an excellent way to kind of put, because you're right. All those expenses, there's no way you're going to get away from that. By renting is not going to solve anything. But you were going to say something about Kauai.
None of us are from Kauai. Ron, he can come back and correct us if he ever
Yep.
comes back on.
Yep.
But my guess, with the Kauai being the highest median and sales price, Kauai doesn't have a whole lot of inventory. They don't have a whole lot of sales. You sell one $15 million property on Kauai and your whole median price is skewed for the island. So I bet you they just had a few really high ticket item sales, and that's the reason.
A few more Mark Zuckerbergs bought,
Yeah.
100-acre plots, for $20 million. Yeah, and that'll throw them. That'll throw it off anytime. Excellent, great. Anybody else have any comments that they want to throw in about the market or about what they see happening before we move on? Anybody want to say anything? All right, great. Let's move on. Okay, great. So, hey, how did you get here? Did you find us? Did you get invited through the newsletter? That's the key. If you got here through the newsletter links, you're good. If you did not, you want to go to livinginhawaii.com. Go to the website. You're going to have a thing that's going to pop up and ask you to put in your email address. Do that, and you'll get the newsletter. You'll get notified of future shows. We've got great content that's getting published, new kinds of videos. Dylan and team, including Misty, are creating new content for everybody. So you want to be a part of that. You want to make sure you are subscribed. So go to livinginhawaii.com, and that'll be that. So, hey, folks, listen, I want to ask everybody, again, if you've just joined us, let us know where you're from. Let us know where people are going from. And I want to also say, in addition to letting us know where you're from, is we've got you come first. The ones who are with us right now, the ones who are live with us right now, you are the ones who get to have your questions answered. So if you have anything that you'd like to know, this is an Ask Us Anything type of a show. Go ahead and pop your questions in the chat. We'll be happy to take it. And I've got a few slides and a few questions that we're gonna get to from some people who have submitted them in advance. But you come first. The live ones got it. So let us know where you're from. Give us some questions if you've got them, and we're gonna move on. All right. So thanks everybody. So with that, why don't we do? Here's a so Misty. Here's one for you that I've been wanting to kind of hit to for a long time. So this is Heidi. Heidi says, why can't I get a reliable licensed contractor to work on my home, such as remodeling and reconditioning? Why can't I get that? So this is not Heidi from Maui. Heidi's on our show. This is another Heidi who's on the Big Island. And what's your take, Misty? How would you respond to Heidi, who can't seem to find a reliable license, or I guess the word here is reliable licensed contractor to work on her home? What's going on with that?
Heidi, I'm not sure who you've already reached out to, but this is a big indication, to reach out to us. Any of us on our team, we are with the agency Team Hawaii. Yes, Dylan is our broker. And we do have an extensive list of resources, and they're second to none. So please feel free to reach out to us directly. I'm happy to help you. We do have a number of very, very reliable contractors. We don't, give out anyone that is not reliable. And it is a busy time here, as much as a Big Island or Hawaii Island is very laid back compared to Maui and Oahu. Work is so busy here. The prices of product and everything it is to build your house, it's increasing a lot, but people are very, very busy. Again, Heidi, I'm not sure who you reach out to. I'm sorry you're having that difficulty, but please reach out to us if we're happy to connect you with someone.
Good answer. So, I mean, if Misty, from your experience, obviously this is one of the great benefits, right, of being associated with the agency team. You guys have got great contacts that personally. So it's not just you're not just kind of going through a Google, not just doing a Google search for a home home improvement guys. These are people that and you refer, and obviously you've called out. You're not referring those who aren't reliable. But what would you give sort of as a potential? You said that they're busy. Good. Any other explanation about what's going on? Is it that there's just not enough of them, and there's more people? There's a high demand for it. Is it that they're being paid a lot, so they're working on bigger jobs? Do you have any sense at all as to kind of what might be some reasons why why can't the average person who's not well connected can't seem to find a good, reliable contractor?
Good question, Peter. And I know we don't like to use the word busy, more so being productive. We are still asking ourselves that same question, not only real estate or contractor related, but just in general. As we experience here on Hawaii Island, everything is just really slow and laid back and not reliable. We don't know what it is. We don't know why. There's stores that close super, super early, or whenever we go to businesses during business hours. And then we get the sign saying, hey, sorry, close, short staff, or this or that. And it all kind of, revolves around the same thing. And now seeing it in construction, there's so much work available. I don't know why the people are not willing to work. We don't know. I really wish we had that answer, Peter. It is definitely something difficult that we are experiencing. I don't know if you folks experience that elsewhere, but here on Hawaii Island, we're a big island, but yet very small. And when things or businesses shut down, it affects us because we don't have the resources that Oahu has, So it is definitely something I'd love to have answers to, Peter. I really don't know. I can't say exactly what it is. Why are these people, not willing to work? Yes, they could be taking, the bigger or higher paying jobs, but at the same time, that's not going to last a lifetime. And to us, living in the islands, you're going to hustle. If work becomes available, you're going to hustle and just keep grinding and working because we just don't know when those opportunities are going to come again. I just don't know how everyone else is viewing it and why are they going to close the business down because there's lack of workers? Where's all the workers? Where's everyone?
Where is everybody? Go
my
ahead.
other half is a contractor on Oahu, and even on Oahu, it's hard to find licensed contractors to do work that consistently show up. And I think that there's a couple of reasons. One, if you're from here, you're, for good, bad, or indifferent, there's a bit of a coconut ceiling when it comes to entrepreneurship and building businesses. It's hard. It's an entire skill set in itself. Having someone who can build a business and who can scale it and who understands how to run the books and how to do customer service and time management is its own entity outside of actually having the skill set to be able to physically do the work and manage the project. So you have the business side of thing, then you have project management side of thing, which is a job in itself, and then you have the actual skilled laborers. And the other thing that we actually discuss quite often, because he is a contractor, is there is a massive decrease in the working space for men. There is, I forget the statistic, but the average contractor and worker and laborer is 45 or 55 and up. So young people are not going into the space in the industry. They're finding things, the video games, something virtual. They're becoming influencers. There's less people going into the workforce. And so the workforce is getting older and it's aging. And people aren't willing to pay a lot. So when you come here, the cost of living is so high, but people who are buying homes and having to renovate those homes, it's expensive to afford it. So you have the people who can't even afford to buy a home that are working on the home. And so they can't increase the prices because then they can't get the jobs. And so there's very little motivation to continue going unless if someone's willing to pay a premium and they're easy to work with. And then you also have like the mindset and the mentality here of, Aloha Friday, let's go crack some beers and hang out over the weekend. That's your demographic of people you're actually hiring. Let's go beach, So I feel like they exist, they're out there, but if you are a skilled worker, if you understand business and entrepreneurship and you want to start a construction or labor business here in Hawaii, I highly, highly recommend it. It is, you can't have enough of them here. So you're on the show, come and build a business.
Very
interesting.
True.
Interesting. A great. I mean, that's a great perspective. I think you really, thanks, Ashley. I think, your other, you call him your other half, being
other half.
in
We're not married yet.
Your better half, other half. Yes. Really kind of summed it up well. And I think that's a great collection of experiences. Really, it's a bunch of things. Everybody look, the younger generation of everybody wants to be a TikTok influencer. Why I want to be on TikTok. I want to have a zillion followers. I want to be like all the rich stars. But you know what? As anyone who's tried to be an influencer online will discover, it's kind of like saying, I want to be a professional basketball player. Yes, you can go ahead and be a professional basketball player, but there's only like 100 of them out of millions of people. And so that's the same. So go ahead and do the influencing. You'll grow up, and then you too will want a job in construction, because that's kind of where it's at.
Well, they can also do it in video games. They can do it in so many ways nowadays, and you can resell things. But you have to think a laborer is $200 to $300 a day on average. And if you calculate that, that's 65,000 or less per year. It's 45 to 65,000. Right now, at least on Oahu, you need to make about $100,000 in order to hit minimum wage and bare minimum living expenses here on the island. And most people don't get to achieve that. And then they're exchanging their body for time. And so when you do, and you have 3 guys on a job at a time, or 4 guys.
Wait. Don't, we're trying to hire more. We're trying to hire more contractors. Now you're telling us not to do it. So we got to turn that around here. You got to turn that around. It's
Well,
a
Peter,
great career.
I do feel too like this is perfect, to pinpoint on is it's really who and utilizing your
Yes.
resources. And that's
Yes.
just how I feel we work in the islands. And,
Totally.
like I said, I'm so blessed that, yes, we do have an extensive list to work through. But at the same time, everyone's making that decision whether or not to work with you or not. And so it really boils down to your resources and who and got to make those magic phone calls and just get work, make magic happen, get work done.
That is so correct. You are so
Yeah,
right about that.
I want to just add to that. Referrals are super important because I have contractors that I've referred business to. And when I call them, they pick up the phone and they want to know, what I have. The other thing, when I'm giving referrals, I really try to match the specific contractor to the type of job. So if you're just looking to change one cabinet in a kitchen and install a cooktop, you can't call the contractor that's busy building 10 luxury homes like up the way. You need to match the project to the contractor and their capacity. And through my office and our personal network, we're constantly talking to people, hearing about who's doing what, what's going on. So, that referral piece is super important. And I do want to say there are very hardworking, competent contractors here on Maui. There are, of course, some that are not, but you want to get a good referral. So reach out to one of us.
What a great discussion. This has turned out you never know how a conversation is going to turn out with a given question. And you've all given some really, really fantastic kind of perspectives on kind of what this is. And I think I would say to me, the one that sticks out the most, which is, what's been echoed all around is it's about the network. It's about who you know. It's about you have a personal reference, a personal referral, someone who's got a reputation. Heidi, for example, like you said, it's a two-way street. The reason why the contractors you've got, why they pick up the phone when you call, is because you're a good resource for them. They know when I get a Heidi call, it's not going to be some stupid job or some wrong or mismatch or whatever. So the reputation goes both ways. It's not just their reputation with you, it's your reputation with them. And those things all matter. It all matters. And thank you, Misty, for getting that part of the conversation up. It is about the network. It is about who you know. And speaking of who we know, I want to kind of give a shout out to somebody I know, Kinaya. Kinaya, welcome back, Kinaya. Kinaya is one of the she was on the first cohort of the Islander Ohana. And Kinaya is hanging out in the Waikiki lanais. Kinaya, give us a 2 cents. I hope you're having a great time. Kinaya has she's visited often. She is planning on making the sacred move to Hawaii. So Kinaya, give us a quick feel of how things have been. You having a good time with the boys and your husband? Let us know. But thanks for giving us a quick shout out. NYC says, hey, my contractor in Kona is very reliable and good. I can ask him to leave his info with Misty. There you go. Tell your contractor, NYC, to leave their contact info with Misty. It's always good to try to expand the network. All right, excellent. Great. Does anybody else want to throw anything else in about this topic that we haven't about contractors and networks and what's going on and everything? Anybody want to say anything else about that? All right, let's move on. It's about that time. Let's go to Diamonds and Deals. So we've had our friends here put together a collection of properties that they would like to highlight. Either it's a diamond or a deal, sometimes a little bit of both. So, and it's kind of unplanned. So let's just kind of see where this goes and who's got what. So first we've got, let's see, this is Kamehameha Highway. This has got to be on there's a Kamehameha Highway is on all the islands. So whose property is this?
That's mine.
Ashley, go for it. Give it. What is it? What are we looking at here?
So this is in Punaluu. It's Pat's Punaluu. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, has parking, and it's for $359. I put $2 signs there by accident, but let's say it's because
You mean
it's
$359,000? You said 350. Oh yeah, you mean $359,000? Okay, because three.
Yeah,
Okay, it's a
I
deal.
mean,
Go for it. I'm sorry.
submit any offer, I'll present it.
There you go.
$359,000. And this comes fully furnished with everything as you see. And also, it has this pool that you see a photo of. And then on the right side, you can see there is these lawn chairs and picnic tables that line the whole beachfront condo complex. And then also has a newly renovated barbecue space. It is resort-like living. This is East Side tropical paradise. Make sure that you get a board and you go to the North Shore, can go surfing, paddleboarding, you can go snorkeling out front. They just opened up the new restaurant, Crouching Lion, around the corner on the way up here. So it's just a nice little spot. The price, $359, that has not even reflected onto our multiple listing service yet. We're going to be changing that today. So you guys are the first to see the new price.
Man, this is fun. Actually, it's kind of fun that you brought this property up, because I've looked at my wife and I. Every time we would take that long drive up the coast, we would pass by this, and I always kept like, what kind of this? Wow, what kind of a place is this? I thought about what a great like retirement condo if you wanted to, always retire on the beach. What's the place like? What's the building like these days? Is it, is it in good order? Is it financially well maintained? Is it been physically maintained? What's the deal with this building, Pat's at Punaluu?
So I lived in the East Side in Hauula for 7 or 8 years, and I would drive by this building too. 14 years ago when I had moved there, and I was always wondering why did these units not go up in value? They've always hovered in the low like $200,000 to $300,000 or less range, and it's because there really wasn't a great management and HOA in place. And so a lot of people living there were just paying the bare minimum. And it wasn't until recently through the COVID boom that a lot of people had moved there. They did short-term rentals, not that you should, not saying you can, but a lot of people invested into the building during the COVID boom. And then they hooied up and they revamped the management and the whole association. And an association can make or break the value of your units. And now they've redid the whole septic system. Right now, they're currently under construction on the parking. They're going to be repaving and creating new parking stalls. They're going to be redoing all the amenities. And so at the moment, there's a special assessment. The maintenance fees and the moment are not bad. They're around $900 per month for an oceanfront complex. You have a lot of, wear and tear when it comes to oceanfront living. So 900 is not bad, but there was a special assessment and the seller is willing to pay that special assessment at closing with the right offer. To answer your question, you do have to, with that special assessment, if they weren't to pay it off, you do have to pay a pretty penny to get your foot in the door for what this building will be in the next year or two. Because after it's all done, once they're done, they're putting a big rock wall in the front. It's going to feel like a mini resort in the next couple of years. Then these units are going to be priced where I think they always would have been. And they're going to go up, 100, 200,000 more than what they're at currently. But you have to be willing to live through the construction to get there.
Interesting, kind of I always wanted. Thank you for. I was always wanted the same thing. It's like it always kind of seemed was kind of not to say a rundown building, but not a well maintained building. And you have explained a lot, and yet it's an incredible asset. It's right on the water. I mean, it's an incredible area. So, thank you, Ashley, for giving us this diamond in the rough over here. This is definitely a diamond in the rough for sure. At least that's the way I'm going to characterize it. All right. This is the Kauai property that was Ronnie's from last week or the last show. All right, so Kailua Kona, I know what that this is on. Misty, give us what are we looking at here, Misty?
Thank you. So this here is our modern masterpiece, and it is located in O'oma Plantation. And for those who are familiar, this is the Palisades area, which is known to be right above the airport. So, of course, it's at nice elevation. You have the best of all worlds here. And, of course, not to mention the most beautiful sunsets. Kona is known for is our beautiful sunsets. So here we have this home on Kukuna, and it is listed just a little north of 3.3. And it is 5-bedroom, 5.5 bath on 2 acres. So just a little over 4,000 square feet of living area. I do want to focus on, finding land here in Hawaii, period, is really hard. And this sits so beautifully on 2 acres, and it's flat. So that's really, really hard to find, because here in the islands, everything is really hilly, for those who are familiar with the Big Island. And so it's just such a stunning, beautiful home. You have to be here, to experience it. And it's just one that I just hold really dear to my heart. And we're just waiting for the right person to come at the right time for it.
Yeah, that looks stunning. And that's like a giant is that a big paved driveway or a big paved area on the left-hand side?
A lot of concrete there.
That's huge.
And
Huge.
this is the contractor's home. So, of course, again, utilizing all the resources that we have. But yeah, the driveway is just so magnificent, and everything is just so beautiful. I'm happy to share that more in detail with anyone who'd love to see more.
Yeah, right. Amazing sunsets from that view. That's for sure. Thank you, Misty. That is a really, really cool property to take a look at. You don't see that too often, hardly at all. All right, what do we got here, Heidi? What are we looking at?
This one's actually mine as well. This was
okay.
The first one was my diamond, and then this one's going to be the deal. And
okay, all right, this is the deal. Go for it.
Here is the deal. Anything under $1 million is a deal these days. So. Anyways, this is a condo, Ali'i Villas on Ali'i Drive, and this is listed by Kelly Fuller, who is also part of our amazing team. And this is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 647 square feet. This particular unit is turnkey. It does not come with short-term vacation rental permit, because that's always a big question that everyone asks. However, the complex does allow short-term vacation rental. So you are able to go through the process. And once all of that is approved, you are able to utilize this as a short-term vacation rental. But it's perfect. It's great for primary residence or short-term rental vacation if you do get the permit. I do want to emphasize here the maintenance fees for this particular unit is under $800, which is huge. A lot of the maintenance fees along Ali'i Drive are like $1,500 plus. And so this here at Ali'i Villas, the maintenance fees are just a little over $700, but it does cover basic cable, water, trash, internet, sewer, pool and ground maintenance, all the bells and whistles. So yeah, definitely one to see as well. Definitely a deal.
Awesome. I got Heidi, I got a technical issue here. Give me a minute. I think what I did is when you were not last, I skipped there we go. All right, we got it. There we go. Live while you watch. Technical issue solved while you watch. Here, so Heidi, this is your turn. What are we looking at here? What is the dramatic photography?
Well, this is an extraordinary estate. This is part of Maluhia Country Ranches out in Kahakaloa. So it's just outside of Wailuku town. It's 2.25 acres, 4-bedroom, 5.5 baths. You can tell from that picture with the living room, incredible ocean views, windows all the way across. This home is being sold furnished and turnkey. You can move right in. It has Brazilian mahogany decks. There's a sauna, a saltwater pool, spa. This is just truly an exceptional residence. And this is country living. All the lots in the subdivision are large ag lots. And you're going to be looking towards the north shore of Maui. So you'll have the sunrise views in the morning, which is really special. And it's listed at 3,950, which for this type of land and estate is really a very compelling offering.
Boy, we don't get, it's kind of fun. We don't get the properties of this nature. It's interesting. I got to go back in this for a second here. So what's interesting is that we've got, it's always kind of fun to kind of see the contrast here, right? So we got the So interesting. So the price, rarely do we get a similarity in price between Big Island and Maui for similarly incredible properties. But this is one of the first times that we've gotten it. That's quite interesting. It's been a great variety of stuff, but this is an amazing property and a great collection. So Misty, thanks for giving us both a diamond and a deal. And Ashley, I'm going to have my wife and I are going to relook at we're going to zoom back into Pat's. I've always thought about if I'm going to retire somewhere, I want to retire on a condo on the beach. That's what I want to retire in, a condo on the beach where I don't have to worry about it. That would be kind of a dream come true kind of a thing. It's a retired couple, but all right. I think that's about it. Ladies, thanks. You guys have given us some great properties to take a look at. I think that's going to we're going to zoom into we're going to close it all up over here. We're going to bring up our closing thoughts. Going to bring this to a close. If you've got some closing thoughts, motivational thoughts, things that help you through the day, through your life, love to hear about it. Why don't we kind of do one by one over here? So Ashley, what's yours?
Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. I mean, you can't really control a whole lot of what happens, but you can control how you react. So just make sure that you're constantly working on yourself. Happy thoughts.
Happy thoughts. That is so true, right? We don't really have it's kind of funny, right? The only thing we have control over is ourselves. That's all we have control over. We have control over nothing else, just ourselves. So yeah, indeed, it's not life, it's how you react to it. Excellent. Thank you, Ashley. Great line. Heidi, oh, great one. What's yours and how? And I give me the relationship. What was going on when you brought this one out?
Abundance is everywhere. It's just a reminder to notice all the wonderful things around you at all times. Don't put focus on a scarcity mindset. Be in an abundance mindset, and you will attract more of that to your life. And there are just so many wonderful things in this world. And I mean, we are all so blessed, and take time to recognize that and to see it, and more good will come to you.
Take the time to recognize the abundance that surrounds you. That's a direct, that ties in quite actually beautifully to Ashley's point about it's life, it's 10% life and 90% the way you react to it. Abundance is everywhere. Like we have an abundance of sunshine. We got that. Got an abundance of everything, rain, etc. You name it. Misty, looking forward to hearing what you've got. What's yours and what does it mean to you?
Awesome. So yes, every day, I always say aloha living everywhere you go. That's all the things we eat, sleep, and breathe aloha daily. And of course, just as Ashley and Heidi shares, it just magically makes your day and your life go so much more better, much more wonderful. And of course, you can have everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. That is just by far one of my most favorite quotes by Zig Ziglar. And I always love to share that with everyone else. If everyone did this, our world would definitely be a much better place to live.
That is an excellent point. You can have everything in life you want if you would just help enough other people get what they want. That is a fabulous truism. Excellent. Guys, great lines. I'm going to close up with mine. Proverbs 24:16, for a righteous man falls 7 times and rises again, but the wicked are overthrown by calamity. I think the two things what I love about Proverbs is it gives you, a lot of the lines are interesting contrasts. It always gives you a one side and the other side. So a righteous person falls 7 times and rises again. Yes, meaning that it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down, you will keep getting up again and again and again. But the wicked are overthrown by calamity. If you don't follow that, you get one calamity and it knocks you down, and that's it. You're overcome by it. So I thought it was an interesting contrast, and I love the wisdom of Proverbs. Hope that works out with you all. All right, great. Well, the gang, thank you all. I want to thank Misty. Misty, you did a fabulous. I don't know, man. We got to talk to Dylan. I think we want to have Misty on here more often. That's all I got to say.
No, thank you.
We got to talk to Dylan about that. Dylan needs to take more vacations so Misty can be a part of this so much. But I also do like the balance of I do want a good male female balance. This was a little bit lopsided, though. It's always fun. It's always fun for me, the sole guy in the crowd, it's always good. But anyway, thank you, Misty. You were fabulous. It was great to have you on. Of course, thank you, Heidi, and thank you, Ashley, for being a part of this. Folks, thank you all for being here. We're going to see you again in 2 weeks. Why don't we go clockwise? Let's go clockwise. Say goodbye, Ashley, Heidi, and then Misty. Say goodbye.
Aloha Friday, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Aloha, happy Friday. Have a good weekend. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you as well for having me. Remember, aloha living everywhere you go. Have a blessed day.
Aloha living everywhere you go. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed weekend. We'll see you folks in 2 weeks. Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you.